Hey folks, welcome back to Owlwood South, where we're mixing Arise Run 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 in Universal Audio's Luna. Today I'm going to plug in a hardware reverb and use it on the main vocal. And I'll show you exactly what I'm doing to get that to work. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to head over to the mix page and find the main vocal that is red. There it is. Run, run, run. Now that right now is being fed into the, it's being sent via a send to the EMT 140. And that sounds like this. Run, run, run. That's a great plugin. I love that reverb. But I also am going to use an outboard reverb that is kind of funky. It's an old spring reverb, and I'm going to show you how I do that right now. Let's take a look at this drawing I have of the back of my Apollo. If you ever find one of these, you should get one. They're a Pioneer. They made them back in the 70s, and they're just simply a spring reverb, and they sound really funky, and you'll hear it in a minute. It's cool though. Okay, so I'm coming out of line 7 and 8, line out on the back of my Apollo 8, into the spring reverb, inputs left and right, coming from the output of the spring reverb back into the Apollo, into line 7 and 8. You could use your mic line in. These are fine to use, but you should use the line in portion of that combi connector, I think is what they call that. It's a combination of an XLR or a 1/4 inch. You can just put the 1/4 inch in. It's probably better to use the input with the 1/4 inch because it will come in at line level. It won't be confusing for you or the Apollo. Okay, so in Luna, let me head back over there. I'm going to set up a new audio track, which is totally confusing because we're going to use it as a bus. But we need to make an audio track. I'm going to make it stereo. I'm going to call this the funky reverb. Okay, so this funky reverb return here, we need to send signal to that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here to the send, click on this output for the send, and I'm going to come out that line 7 and 8 on the outputs of the Apollo. I'm going to option click the send so that it sends it at unity gain 0.0 dB. And on this return audio track, I'm going to come up here to input, and I'm going to tell it to come in at line 7 and 8. I'm going to turn on my reverb unit. Okay, so now when I play this, we won't be able to hear this return quite yet. What I need to do is I need to hit the input monitoring. Run, run, run. And we have a return of that reverb unit. Okay, one more thing about this. If I solo this lead vocal track and I listen to the just the vocals, run, 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 we're not hearing any of that return. And the reason why is because I need to take the solo button. I'll right click on it and solo safe it. So what solo safe means is that it will allow Luna to hear what's coming through that audio track, or it's really a bus right now, even if something is soloed upstream from it. So now that it's solo safed, run, 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 we get the spring reverb. Cool. Okay, let me blend that in. Run, run, run. Babylon and go cold. Run, run, run. Okay, so now that I hear the return and I know it's coming back into Luna, I'm going to go ahead and print that reverb into the mix so I can use it during the mix. I can automate it. I can do all kinds of things to it. I can put EQ effects on it, whatever I need to do in the mix. Okay, so now that I have that reverb return coming in, I need to be able to print that to a track so I can use it in the mix. So I have ARM mode turned on. I'm going to hit record and input monitor. And if I want an effect on that return permanently, I can use a record effect up here. So I could put something like, I don't know, an EQ or something on that, and it would be permanently recorded onto it, or I can monitor through something if I wanted to. Right now, I'm just going to record it back in with nothing on it so I can use it later. So I'm going to head over to the mix page. I'm going to hit record up here.
Run, run, run.
Okay, we should have a returned track here. I'm going to take that out of input monitoring now. I'm going to unsolo save that so it's just a regular track now. It's going to the main. I actually want it to go to the mix bus. Let's take a listen to that right fast.
Run, run, run.
Yeah, it's kind of muddy, but we can fix that with some EQ.
Run, run, run. Babylon a go come. Run, run, run.
One thing you should remember when you're sending something out and bringing it back in Luna right now, there is no delay compensation for outboard gear, but there is sort of a trick to make it lined up on the way back in. And the way you do that is on the main output here. We need to instantiate a heavily latent plugin. In this case, I'm using the Ampex ATR 102. I don't even need to use this as a sound. I'm actually just going through it right now, but it needs to be on. So this power button here, if it's off, you won't have anything lined up at all. But if it's on, then the outboard stuff will be delay compensated and it'll be in phase much better. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the background vocal, the one that we've been using, the main one here, this guy who's sort of doing an answer, a call and response. He's doing sort of the response part.
Run, run, run. Babylon a go come.
Okay, so I'm going to set this up the same way. I need to make a new audio track. Okay, here we go. We've got that track in now. And so on the background vocal, I'm going to use the send. I'll use the same line right here. I'm going to send out to lines 7 and 8. I'm going to hit Option click to send all unity gain to the output. On this new return, I'm up here to input and I want it to listen to line 7 and 8. Okay, so I'm sending that to 7 and 8. I'm bringing it back in on 7 and 8. But before I do that, by the way, I need to make sure that this line 7 and 8 that was back on the lead vocal here is off. So I can do that a couple ways. I can mute it now, or I can just get rid of it. I'm just going to get rid of it because I've already sent it out. I already have it in the mix session. Okay, so now the only thing being sent to this reverb is the background vocal.
Run, run.
Again, I sent out line 7 and 8. I'm returning on line 7 and 8. I've got the Ampex on the output, so everything's phase aligned. I'm going to put this in record and print that reverb return.
Run, run, run. Babylon a go come. Run, run, run.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted that to do. Okay, so let's move on to another type of effect that I'm going to use that's on the outboard stuff. So I have this electric guitar over here that's in during the chorus is just doing these little choppy things. It's sort of similar to what was happening before. Let me solo these and you'll hear what I mean. Right, so I kind of want that to feel a little bit different when those come in. So I'm not just going to send it to the EMT plate like I was doing on those other two guitars. I'm going to send this out to an old Echo Rec unit that I have. And the way I'm going to do that is a little bit different because of the way the signal flows. There are different types of signals that go to effects like this. So we're going to route it the same way. I'm going to set up a new audio track. And this is going to be mono. These old units are just mono. I'm going to call this the Echo Rec. I'm going to send that to my guitar sub. Cool. All right, so now on this electric guitar track, I'm going to come over here to Ascend. I'm going to send that out I'm actually gonna use only line 7, but I have to choose line 7 and 8, even though I'm just using one of them. I'm gonna pull that up to Unity Gain with the option click up here. I'm gonna tell this, because of the way that these old effects work, this is not gonna come back in through the line in on the back. So I'm actually coming out of line 7 on the back of the Apollo. I'm going through a reamp box to the Echo Rec. Then out of the Echo Rec, I'm coming back into a DI. So I'm actually using the DI on the front of the Apollo. I'm using channel 1, and let's see what that sounds like. I'm gonna mix it in and move a few things around while we're playing this.
Coming to take it, take it away. So you better.
Yeah, I like that. It's giving it sort of a triplet feel as it comes in. So let me print that right fast. I'm gonna use the same technique as before. I'm gonna engage that into record.
You're coming to take it, take. No.
Okay, so that's it for today. That's using some outboard hardware inside of Luna. Hopefully pretty soon they'll come up with a way to maybe ping the hardware that is outboard and delay compensate for the time. But until then, remember to use that Ampex on the output and everything should be time aligned. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe, please hit the like, and more videos coming very soon.